Welcome to the first video from St. Caimin's Community School for the e-Learning from Nature project. During this video we will look at the location and site that was visited by the class from St. Caimin's Community School for this project. We will look at the particular rationale and focus of this video presentation. We will go through the classroom-based activities that students would have participated in after the site visit. And we will look at student experiences during the course of this project. St. Caimin's Community School is located in Shannon, County Clare, which is halfway between Limerick City and Ennis. For this project, we visited a part of the town called The Point, which is a series of mud flats on the Shannon estuary, which are very close to the school. They are located close to the Shannon Airport Lagoon, which is an artificial saline lake that was developed in the 1940s when a seawall was constructed out to the estuary to prevent Shannon Airport from flooding. It is a man-made feature and it has become a local biodiversity hotspot as well as a local birding area. On the day of the visit, students were able to walk from St. Caimin's Community School along the main road and then along a woodland path to the area known as the Point on the Shannon estuary. Students used their smartphones to take photographs along the route and also used pen and paper to make recordings of how they felt as they made their way through the different areas of the route. For video 1 for this project, we decided to focus on the sycamore tree and its seed. As students walked from the school along the woodland path, they noticed a number of sycamore trees, and they also noticed the helicopter seed starting to develop. This also links with their junior certificate science course, which requires them to look at reproduction and germination in plants, and in particular seed dispersal. Shannon Airport is located very close to the site of the visit, and the flight of the seeds could easily be linked with the flight of helicopters and aeroplanes. In Shannon Town Centre, students would also be familiar with a work of art located on the main roundabout, which depicted helicopter seeds. I'm now going to explain the classroom-based activity that was linked with the sycamore tree and its seeds. In class, students were provided with a template as shown and were asked to cut the solid lines and then bend along the dashed lines to create a copter as shown in the diagram. Once students had their copter created, they took part in a series of activities to look at how the copter moved through the air and how it span. With their copter, students were asked to observe how it spun in the air, in what direction it spun, and if it was possible to change the direction of spin. During the course of the activity, students had to think about how they would carry out a fair test, and they were also asked to come up with various hypotheses. Once students had become familiar with how the helicopter spun in the air, they were asked to make a number of changes to their copter and then make a number of predictions based on these changes. They were asked to remove and add a weight to the copter and predict how this would affect the spin through the air and the speed at which it moved from the start point to the ground. They were also asked to half one of the wings and then half the length of both wings to see how this would affect the spin and speed of the copter. Students were then asked to cut one wing completely off and then cut two wings completely off to see how this would affect the copter's movements. And finally, students were asked to make copter out of card instead of paper to see how this would affect the copter moving through the air. Once students had completed their predictions, they were then asked to carry out the activities and record their observations. This was the data gathering phase of the activity and proved very interesting for students when a number of their predictions did not, in fact, align with the observations that they saw once they carried out the activity. Once students had gathered their information, they were asked to make a number of deductions on what would be required to create the fastest and slowest spinning copters based on the results and observations that they had recorded. Students then used these results to create the fastest and slowest spinning copters to take part in a class race. The school has a balcony over reception where this race could take place. Students started the race fairly. They let the copters go at the same time. As you can see from this video, students adapted the template of the different copters to take part in the race. The site visit and the classroom-based activities developed a number of transferable skills for students. Students found that the site visit made them feel calm and relaxed, and they really enjoyed the scenery. What was really interesting is that a number of students from the locality didn't even realise that this part of the town existed, so it opened up a whole new world for them where they live. During the classroom-based activities, students learned that what they might predict will happen will not always be the case, and they saw that predictions, while they're a useful starting point, should not be seen as the end answer. They also developed their skills for fair testing. They were required to analyse and apply results that they had just found, and they were asked to use the knowledge they had acquired to assess the design of the actual helicopter seats themselves.